he an agent? Absolutely. What's really online is his credibility. He exaggerates greatly, and we need to be skeptical. And let me answer your question directly now. Yes, Israel has succeeded over the years in infiltrating Palestinian society. Thousands of Palestinians serve as agents for the Israeli security forces. He is no exception, except that he is the son of one of the top Hamas leader. But we need to be skeptical. We need to realize that his credibility online, and not to take everything that he feeds your audience or feeds you, because of course he has a story and a big tale to tell.
Well, of course, this is why we're doing this report, because putting it in context is important. And as you say, this is part of the norm of this kind of cynicism that develops during wartime, when each side tries to penetrate the other side. So,
you know, Christian, the big story really is that why has Israel succeeded in basically recruiting thousands of Palestinians? And this tells you about the fragmentation of Palestinian society. It tells you about the resources and the means by which Israel infiltrates Palestinian society. And you're absolutely correct. I mean, Palestinians has been engaged in a civil war as a result of this espionage, because as we know, many supposed or alleged agents have been killed by both the PLO and Hamas, because there's a war taking place, very bitter, very bloody, very cynical indeed.
We'll be right back after a break. We'll have more with our guests in a moment on the son of Hamas, Mosab Hassan Youssef, and his connection with Shimon Peres, he says, who is now Israel's president. And you can watch the whole of my interview with Youssef on amanpour.com. You talk about trying to save lives. You said that you thwarted a plot to blow up the current Israeli president, Shimon Peres, back when he was foreign minister. What was that about?
One of the Hamas bomb maker, his name is Abdallah Barghouti. He's a killing machine, very dangerous man. I discovered a few hours before he was planning to plant 4 bombs in cars and explode the Prime Minister's car.
That was another excerpt from my interview with Mosab Hassan Youssef, and another stunning claim. Joining me again, Israeli intelligence specialist Yossi Melman from Tel Aviv, Middle East expert Fawaz Gerges of the London School of Economics, and Hamas spokesman Osama Hamdan from Damascus, Syria. I would like to talk, please, first to Yossi Melman about some of the things you've just heard. Number one, given your study on this issue, do you think, how can one know whether what he says about thwarting such a high-level potential assassination attempt is true? And also, to the very point of what people are saying, that couldn't this all be Israeli attempts to discredit the Palestinians, to divide them even further than they already are?
Well, let me make three comments. First of all, I'm kind of puzzled by Mr. Hamdan, because Hamas leaders here in Gaza and in the West Bank are talking to us Israeli journalists. Secondly, I would say that this book was not initiated by the Israeli security services, obviously not to divert attention from Dubai, because the book was written weeks and months before that, I assume. Actually, the book is kind of an embarrassment for the security services of Israel, because like any professional intelligence organization, they try to protect their sources, as we do, journalists. And therefore, they don't reveal the names of their agents, even if they were not very important agents, still they try to protect their identities. And the fact that Mosab went public and surfaced and admitted that he was an agent is not liked by the security service of Israel. So the book is not a pack of lies, but at the same time, I think he's a bit exaggerating his role and his importance to providing information for Israel and for helping Israel to protect its national interest and to protect the safety of our civilians.
Mm-hmm. What about, you've sort of touched on it briefly, but of course people who are watching this are going to say that this could be an attempt by Israel to yet again try to divide a divided people?
Well, so people will say it, but the truth is that Israel has many, many agents, as the CIA has agents and trying to have many agents in Afghanistan in the war against global terrorism or terrorism at that part of the world. This is the nature of the game. You have to penetrate these groups, and the top agent you have, the better. You try to get to the top of the leadership of your enemy or the other organization, and therefore it's not a lie. It's a well-known fact. Israeli prisons are filled with Hamas terrorists and PLO activists. Some of them have been in the past agents for Israel. Some of them maybe are still agents while serving their jail terms. Israel has managed to cover very widely and mapping the Palestinian organizations, including Hamas. And the fact is that Israel, the end results of it is that Israel has prevented many, many terrorist attacks against our citizens.
All right.
Not always, did not succeed always.
Can I go to Mr. Hamdan, please, in Damascus, Syria, and to ask you to react to this notion that it is a risk for Palestinians in prison to be recruited, Mr. Hamdan. Don't you find that many Palestinians, whether they're Hamas or Fatah, whoever they are, can be recruited in prison?
Well, I have to say it's a war. And the Palestinian people are under the occupation for more than 6 decades. In such a case, such things may happen. It's not a big success. The Israelis are trying to say that it's a big success to do that, while in fact it's not. I have to say the Israelis issued this book as a kind of propaganda. When you say that someone was working for his enemies, it means that he lies for his own people. And we expect that there is a big lies in this book. It doesn't mean that everything in this book is serious. There may be some facts which was used to make a kind of credibility for the book, while we believe most of this is lies. In Israel, they are trying to say they are in a war against terrorism, while they are the terrorist country or the terrorist state in the region, killing the people, the Palestinians under the occupation, like what had happened in Gaza in the last year, what had happened in Lebanon in 2006, all their wars killing the civilians. I have to remind all the people that 1,400 Palestinians were killed in 2009 in Gaza by Israeli bombing. Most of them were civilians.
Mr.
We are
Hamdan?
talking here about 450 children.
Mr. Hamdan?
Excuse me, I'm not hearing you well. So I
Mr.
have
Hamdan?
to say, if I understand you.
Can you hear me now as
Yes,
I
I'm not
speak a
hearing
bit
you well.
louder? Can you hear me as I speak a little bit louder?
Yes.
I hear what
Yes.
you're saying about the
Yes.
war in Gaza. And as you know, there has been a Goldstone report which has accused both sides of inappropriately targeting civilians. Now, just today, Hamas has rejected allegations.
About Goldstone.
Mr. Hamdan, just today, Hamas
Yes.
has rejected the allegations in the Goldstone report, saying that it rejects the notion that it is also being accused of killing civilians, which, as you know, is a war crime. Why are you rejecting that? Even Mosab, Yusuf Hassan, said that Hamas targets civilians. Why are you rejecting the Goldstone report after first saying that you would investigate it?
Well, I'm not in a position to have any comment on what have Mos'ab said, because anyone who's serving the enemies of his own people does not deserve anyone to make any comment on him. He's a big liar. He lost his faith. He lost his moralities. And he's working for the enemies who are killing his own people, who are arresting his father, and who are occupying his own country. So
what about the Goldstone? What about the Goldstone?
I have, yes. A Goldstone report, we said that he has a clear position condemning the Israelis by killing the Palestinians as civilians, And he has some doubts about some Palestinian groups